where things are at, what I've been up to lately. Do a little bit different here in the office today. It's a bit different than the usual on location actual photographing stuff. Just wanted to kind of show you where I've been lately, what I've been up to, and talk a little bit about what's been going on, which basically I've been in a creative rut. I'm sure many of you out there, if you've done anything artistic, creative, pretty much anything, you're gonna get to this point where you're just kind of stagnant. I don't know if that's the greatest word for it, but you're just kind of stuck. You look at all your images, you're sick of them, you hate everything that you shoot, you go try to shoot, you're not inspired, you don't create anything that's worthwhile. And that's kind of where I've been for the last little while, which is why I haven't really been creating a whole lot of new images. I've been going through a bunch of my older stuff, and it's been alright, but again, it gets to that point where you're just like, I hate it. So pretty much I've hated a lot of the stuff that I've gone through lately. Again, it's been a struggle, and so there's a lot of different ways you can probably deal with a creative rut. You can try something else creative, you can try a whole bunch of different things. I haven't really found the best option yet, so I don't really know what I could recommend to anybody other than just experiment and try different things. And so that kind of leads me to my hopeful solution that's going to help me with my creative rut, because it's already kind of inspired me and it's given me something else to look forward to and to research and to learn about, which one of the biggest things for my own personal creativity is the learning process. And granted, I'm no expert in photography. There's millions of people out there that are 10 times better than I am. And so I'm not going to say, I'm not learning anything new as far as that aspect goes. But having something that you can kind of stretch your brain and stretch your creativity into a different aspect is something I feel can help tremendously with your creativity in general, because I guess for lack of better words, it flexes your brain muscle. But anyway, so that leads me to where I'm at today. I'm in the office, and I want to show you my outlet to new creativity, if that makes any sense. And what that is, hoping I can bring this in and show you here, is this beast. Well, it's not really a beast. It is, let's see if I can loosen this here, maybe sideways view. This is an Intrepid Camera Company. Large format 4x5 film camera. And yes, it's still photography. Yes, it's the same kind of thing as that, but it goes back to a time where basically you are focused more on the process than just snapping thousands of pictures digitally, loading them on your computer, and then kind of processing those. On that, there's a tendency you get out in nature and out at your location, and you just start snapping away. Because granted, yes, digital makes things 10 times easier to take a picture, which is why so many people actually love doing it, and so many people have picked up the art. But what this does is it has no modern, well, I guess I shouldn't say it has no modern features, because this is actually a very modern camera in regards to large format, because it's a brand new camera produced by the Intrepid Camera Company out of England. They manufacture these very inexpensive, very lightweight, so in that aspect it is new, but the design is still old. You still use mechanical lenses, movements to adjust your composition and everything, and there are no digital aspects to it whatsoever. And what this does, it forces you to slow down. It forces you to calculate your exposure. It forces you to look at your composition and make sure everything is correct, and manually focus everything on this by adjust these right here, and there's your focus. So instead of pushing a button, exposures set, all of that, and you snap away, this is going to slow me down and make me focus on the process, which is what I'm hoping to do, that focus on the actual process of creating an image. Because as everybody knows, digital, you snap 1,000 pictures, all it costs you is what it costs to buy the memory card to store those thousands of pictures. This right here, I don't know the exact calculation. I know people out there have figured out kind of what it costs per exposure, because granted, the film, each piece of film costs you money, and so you're not going to be out there just snapping pictures away and not being concerned about it, because every time you click the shutter on this, it's going to cost you, I'm just going to say roughly like $5 between the film, the processing, scanning. I'll end up scanning mine through some service because I don't have a scanner yet, but it's going to make me think about what I'm actually taking a picture of. So without dragging on too long, just wanted to kind of show you my next venture. I'm not giving up on the digital world. I still love my Sony A7R2. Still, that's going to come with me everywhere, but this is actually also going to be coming with me, and hopefully I've got a trip up here in the next week or so where I'm actually going to be trying this out myself for the first time. Kind of nerve-wracking a little bit, just for the fact, that film's not cheap. Some of it's very hard to get, and it's all back to a manual process, which, yes, I've used a film camera years and years ago when in high school. Took a photography class where, took process developed, enlarged, 35 millimeter black and white film, which, if I can move this out of the way here. Oh. This little guy right here is my Pentax K1000. This is actually the camera I used in high school, and I brought that out from the dead and picked up some 35 millimeter black and white film to kind of try and just experiment with that. I've yet to go through a roll, but that's this along with the large format, kind of venturing into the film world, which will hopefully kind of spark the creativity, because again, each snap with this, while it's far less expensive, does cost me money. So anyways, wanted to show you kind of where I'm at. Picked up the large format camera from the Intrepid Camera Company. I wanted to show you just a little bit of the gear, which everybody that photographs loves picking up new gear because it's fun. So picked up a used lens, Nikkor 150 millimeter, which sounds weird. Works out to about a 50 millimeter lens on a 35 millimeter camera. But yeah, so I'm going to show you a few of the things that I picked up. Showed you the camera already. Some of the other stuff that I have picked up, like I said, is film. Right here, I've got me three different types. There's one black and white, this Ilford Delta 100. I've always been a sucker for black and white, so had to make sure I get that. And then in the bag here, which any film photography buffs will notice, is the Fuji Velvia 50. I've heard amazing things about this film, and so I wanted to try it out for myself. And that is one that is very hard to get. It's very expensive. It's been discontinued in the United States, and so this, thanks to some of the inspirational people out there I've been following learning this stuff, such as like Ben Horn and Alan Brock. Check out their YouTube channels. They're awesome. But thanks to Alan Brock for the tip on ordering this Fuji Velvia 50 from Japan, which it worked great, I'll be honest. So there's that. Got, 20 sheets of that, and then I've got 10 sheets of Kodak Ektar 100. which is a different type of film. I'm going to avoid going into the different types. There's many other people, again, check the previous ones, about types of film, because I'm still learning myself. But those are the films that I picked up to try and use. Got me some film holders. Feel, you know, you have your film in these. Everything has to be done in the dark when you're loading all of this, which I've sacrificed my sheet of Delta 100 so I can practice loading the film into these holders, which it's an interesting experience, but that's something that it's kind of nice. I picked up 3 of those, which each one holds 2 sheets of film. So like this trip coming up in the next week or so, I'm going to be limited to the 6 sheets of film. I'll probably do 2 black and white, 2 Velvia 50, and then 2 of the Ektar 100, just so I can kind of get a feel for the differences. But moving on, another little splurge that I actually did was from Stone Photo Gear. And this guy, if I remember right, his name's Dan. He's out of California. He makes these super high quality. And this is a lens wrap, because as it is, this is how your lenses are. Instead of like a typical digital camera lens, it's mounted to a board, the lens shutter itself and all of that. And so just tossing this into a bag, it might work, but to add a little protection, because these are old, they are entirely mechanical. There's a bunch of levers, buttons, all of that. He makes these lens wraps. So this goes in here, gives it some padding, some protection, all that. And then also another little splurged item I kind of did. These are brand new from him. It's a multi-film holder case. So this will actually hold 5 film holders and store it all in one bag, which to me, trying to be organized while you're out in the field is huge. And so I didn't want to have my film holders kind of floating around, getting dust all over in them, getting lost in the car, whatever. So this way I can keep them all just in this one bag and know where they're at. Let's see what else here. This shutter release cable. Again, that goes back to the lens and what you have to release your shutter. You may not be able to see a little tiny thing right there, which you can reach up and kind of click that, but you're gonna deal with the camera shake there. And so what you do, you get that shutter release cable, plug it in there, snap away, and you're good. Pick that up for cheap off from Amazon. It's probably not the highest quality. I will probably upgrade eventually to something better. Yeah, that was cheap. It was like $8, but I figured it'll get me started. Let's see, the next thing here, Lee filters. This I actually have had for a while. This is my 100mm filter holder. I use this a little bit with digital. I was never a huge fan of filters. I don't know if I just didn't take the time to learn how to use them all that well, but I have that with a set of format high-tech graduated ND filters. So I've had that, and then the last bit is, I'll show you here, from Wanderer Photo, and that is a dark cloth, which what that's designed for, if I can show you here on the back of the camera, hook that over that, climb underneath it, which you may have seen it in old books or movies or anywhere, but climb under there, you have a dark area where you can focus and see what you're actually doing on the back, because you're composing your image on the back of a piece of glass on there. A lot of these are small companies like the Wanderer Photo and Stone Photo Gear. They're just basically one guy producing these things, which I highly recommend them. Top quality products. Not sponsored, if I have to even say that. I'm in no position to be sponsored by any of them. I just picked up some of those and absolutely love them. But the other stuff, either through like the Intrepid Camera Company, they sell theirs online out of England. The other stuff, it's either through Amazon, eBay, pick the lens up off from eBay. So overall expense is actually still less than some of my digital cameras, way less than my Sony. And yeah, as far as the actual equipment goes, film may add up, but again, I've seen articles and videos and stuff like that. One in particular, I believe it's Ben Horn, that's done a cost comparison between digital camera upgrades and film cost, and overall it actually equals out a little bit. So we will see though. I've yet to expose any, yet to develop any, yet to scan any, so there's a lot I'm still learning, but hopefully you'll even be able to tell it actually gets me excited talking about even just the gear itself. And I'm excited to go out and try out that gear and see what I can produce on a new medium, basically. So I think that's pretty much it. Hope to be doing a few more videos from the office here. I apologize, it's kind of a mess. Trying to work out this whole home setup, but hopefully I can get you a few tutorials, show you some updates with the film gear, maybe show you some post-processing stuff, all of that. But anybody out there dealing with creative ruts, look into a different art form. I guess that's, well, mine's still the same, it's still different enough in the fact that it's making me stretch my own creativity, and I'm hoping that's working for me. So anyways, take care, subscribe, like, follow, do all that stuff. You can find me online, social media, Instagram mostly these days. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll be having some new videos coming out here shortly, and look forward to showing you more. Take care, everybody. See ya.